Alright folks, if you've ever wondered what 10,000 pounds of catfish looks like, you're about to see. Oh, I'm so happy! I can't wait to eat you! Oh, I can't wait to eat you! You look so delicious in your boxes.
I'm Eric Baker, and I've lived in Tennessee my entire life. However, for the last decade, touring the world, I've only seen it passing by from a windshield. But finally, Tennessee is calling me back where I belong. There's a place you've never been that's right where you want to be. I want to rediscover how great my home state is, and I want you to come with me. Uncharted. What has the power to bring a community together? What has the strength to connect thousands of different people and unite them on one common ground? For the folks of Henry County, it's a shared love of the outdoors. But once a year, during the last week of April, it's also a kinship found in a sizzling southern staple that even Methodists and Baptists can agree on: fried catfish. Now, if you remember, back in Season 1, we spent some time here with Henry County native Brenda Valentine, exploring how the sport of hunting contributes to a community that's truly bonded by the outdoors. However, on this episode of Tennessee Uncharted, we're here to take a look at some warmer weather wildlife and partake in an event that brings this community together in a completely different way. Armed with nothing but my appetite, I've traded in my rifle for a fork and traveled to Paris, Tennessee to get a full-flavored taste of the world's biggest fish fry. As we continue to upload more and more of our lives into the virtual world, we're becoming more and more disconnected with the real world. In my opinion, too many of tomorrow's faces are growing pale in the light of TVs and computer screens instead of squinting their eyes to the blaring, beautiful light of the sun. Because for me, without many of the sunburned, grass-stained, mud-covered days of my youth, I believe I wouldn't know what it truly means to live. In all honesty, some of the only days I really feel like I've got a good grasp on life is when I've got dirt under my fingernails. So on our way into town, I've migrated over to the new visitor center at the Tennessee National Wildlife Refuge to tag along with the field trip and get a closer look at the wildlife, plants, and habitats of Tennessee. This refuge, which stretches for 65 miles along the Tennessee River, is part of a national network of lands and waters set aside to conserve America's fish, wildlife, and plants. But what was originally created as a sanctuary for migratory birds now provides and protects so much more.
This is one of 560 national wildlife refuges, and they're all about conserving and protecting wildlife, and they have different emphasis, and ours is about migratory birds. But they do operate together as a system of lands, especially the migratory bird refuges, because the migratory bird is always moving, and so it needs multiple places where it can stop over on its migratory journey. Migratory birds, they don't just start in the north and fly all the way to the south or south to north without stopping. And so it's a lot like if you're on the interstate with your family and you see that mega truck stop, and everybody's resting and going to the bathroom and gassing up and all that kind of stuff. Well, Tennessee National Wildlife Refuge would be like a mega truck stop along the Mississippi Flyway. We talk about national wildlife refuges as being one big outdoor classroom. I have got the perfect place to teach kids and to tell people about nature, because they can
playground for all the wildlife to enjoy.
So, and we have a lot of diverse habitat types here, so it attracts a lot of different birds. So we have counted 306 different species of birds on this refuge alone. which, to put that into perspective for you, there's a little more than 400 species of birds in the state of Tennessee, 300 of which are right here on this refuge. And I think there's a little more than 900 species of birds in all of North America. So 300.
One-stop shop to see.
Yeah, so there's a lot of birds here.
I have my bluebird box,
That's right.
which I am very, very pleased with, and I have great pride now. Mitts, I wish I could say I did it all myself, but Joan helped me a whole bunch.
Like I said, you need a woman to make it right.
That's right, exactly. So now we're gonna hang this,
Yes.
which is awesome that I can leave here knowing that I've contributed in a small way. As I was saying, my Habitat for Humanity
There you go.
for a bluebird family,
That's
and
right.
hopefully many generations to come. So let's hang this bad boy up.
The PVC pipe will prevent a snake or a raccoon or a cat from getting up to the box to
Just
get
because
after.
they can't get traction on
They
this.
can't get traction.
Okay,
on it.
all right.
And that's just a simple concept. So we'll put that up. Like we said, we want to be in a grassy area because they're an insect eater. And then we want to point, you know, off to the east, sort of, not directly into the west where the afternoon sun's going to hit it or whether the storms come in. The other thing, as I said, was the most important thing is that you've got to have trees or shrubs or something. When they fly the first time, they've got to have a perch to get to so that they'll be safe from predators.
So what's next?
We're going to aim it back at the trees so that they've got some place to go.
The tree there is a good place for where if they fledge, they can go right to that tree right there.
And fledge is the first flight out.
First
right?
flight out, where they've got to go
Fits
somewhere.
over there nicely.
Yes.
That's it. Easy.
And we're done there.
Yeah,
We're
we're
done.
done. So
We were just waiting.
A bluebird condo in the sky. Check-in is open. Now, I'll be honest. This trip was nothing like the trips I took as a kid. I don't remember any of them being this interactive and hands-on. And I know I never got to use power tools. All I remember is a lot of single-file lines and constantly hearing my teachers say, "Eric, don't touch that." Here, it was just the opposite. It was hands-on, not hands-off. This trip was interactive, informative, and most importantly, downright fun. I'm leaving here not only with a new appreciation for outdoor education, but also with enough materials to build a birdhouse with Annabelle in my own backyard as soon as I get home. To the world's biggest fish fry, come and eat some beers with me. There may be over 100 species of fish in these parts, but right now I'm only concerned with one, Mr. Catfish. Luckily, Paris is not only home to a ton of wildlife, but also home to a 5-ton fish fry. And the heart of the whole festival is found right here in the fish tent. So the truck just got here with all of the food from this weekend's festivities. We're talking like 7,000 meals. But first, all the food has to be unloaded. So now I have the joy of pitching in and helping these guys unload this entire truck of food. I'm gonna go do some stretching. Just so you know, I get stressed out cooking for a few people at home. But as impressive as these proportions were, they were but a small taste of the other 2 tasks I had ahead of me in the kitchen. Now, if you've learned much about me over the course of the show, you've likely noticed that if I'm not strumming, singing, or sinking my teeth into something delicious, I'm chatting. So, as the volunteers and I unloaded the endless pallets of ingredients and supplies, I took the opportunity to learn more on how this fried phenomenon grew into the event it is today.
A lot of this has changed as far as maybe the environment, but as far as the process, the recipes, all that, it's all just like it was 62 years ago.
Right on.
We have cooked up to 12,000 pounds before. Nobody's been able to put out as much in a 4-day span as what we have. The Paris-Henry County J.C. sponsor it. They do all the work. You know, they reap the benefits from the money if we make any money, and then they just take that. They take usually anywhere from 150 maybe to 200 kids Christmas shopping. 5 or 6 years ago, the first people in the line on Wednesday night we were open for were from England. I wished
I came to get some of those Tennessee fish and chips.
I don't know what we do here that draws people in. You know, we're just normal old people doing a normal old event, and it amazes me to why people come. I mean, it just.
I think you answered your question right there.
Yeah.
It's authentic, it's real, and I mean, you're not doing it to bring people. You're just doing what you do, and that's what.
Well, that's the
why
way we
people
try
are
to
here,
keep
man.
it. I just don't, you know, there ain't no show out here much. I mean, it's just everybody. It's like a family, man. You'll see when this gets going. It's just like one big family, pretty much around here.
And you said these have been seasoned over the years, right? You want them?
Yeah,
I mean,
they're cast iron.
It's like mom's skillet at home. You don't
Exactly.
want if you
Made
clean
out-
it too much, then you get all the good stuff out of it.
Exactly. It's well, these first 6 right here are all original.
Original from when you first
first
started?
one.
Wow. Apparently, the fish fry evolved from Mule Day, which originated in 1938. Farmers came to town on the first Friday in April to trade their mules and other farm products, do their shopping, and enjoy the fellowship of their friends. But as mules gave way to tractors, the Chamber of Commerce here in Paris started looking for another event to replace Mule Day. And in 1953, the fish fry was born. But as obvious a star as the catfish may be, I think that we can all agree no plate of fried catfish is complete without its friend, the Hush Puppy. So next I helped out the Hush Puppy King and his Hush Puppy posse. Starts with a hush and ends with a puppy.
See, here we go.
Starts with a hush and ends with a puppy. Hush.
We have you a puppy.
How many fish are we cooking together?
Upwards of 10,000 pounds.
That's a lot. That means that we've got to make a lot of hush
A
puppies.
lot of hush puppies. 50,000 of them.
I'm ready for a dump.
50,000 hush puppies. Oh, you stir and you stir and you stir until it turns into a thicker consistency. I think the inaugural fish has been dropped. You guys are cooking it up now, right? Is that the first fish to go down? First fish to go down. Whoop, whoop. Let's get the world's biggest fish fry started, y'all. Can I get a what? Yeah! All right, everybody. Yeah, get fired up. So I've only been in town a few hours, and already I'm reminded of how the folks here in Paris like to do it big. Because even if you're not talking about big bucks or big fish fries, the people in these parts have big hearts as well. So while I'm in town, I caught up with the members of Two Rivers Bass Club in order to see some of the alluring tactics that they've devised to ensure that charity continues to catch on. The more time I spend in Paris, the more I can see that participation and appreciation are the two ingredients that makes it successful. Henry County is not only a community that is involved and connected, but a community that gives back as well. And thanks to the folks at Two Rivers Bass Club, I got to share something with a very special group of kids that I won't soon forget. The many afternoons I've spent sitting on a bank with a bucket of minnows, waiting impatiently for my bobber to be pulled underwater, are one of the many things in this life that I take for granted. I just assumed that everyone grew up playing outside all day, waiting for the lightning bugs to tell you it was time to go home. So we got banks full of people fishing, Larry. It's a beautiful day. Tell me what we're doing here.
Okay, we got Two Rivers Bass Club been doing this for about 30 years. The main goal is to take these kids to do something that most of them never get a chance to do.
Yeah.
And we got 81 kids here today.
Amazing.
It just gets bigger and bigger every year. This year we got the whole school system of Henry County here all the special needs kids. We've gone to feed them pizzas after a while, and we had 2 sponsors that bought them shirts. Bass Pro furnished all of them caps.
Why is an event like this so important to get people out here fishing?
One little kid over there a while ago caught his first fish ever caught.
Yeah.
I think you was standing by over
I was.
over when he done that. You know, it means a lot to these kids. They've been excited ever since they found out they was gonna get to come fish again.
Right.
Outdoor person myself, and I always have been, and I like to see these kids get out and have fun in this, especially in the sunshine and all, and catch fish. It means a lot to the school system. They want to see these kids have fun, and it's an outing day for them in the whole school system. It helps the county as a whole to show people outside of our county what we try to do for our kids. They realize what it does for a drug-free environment, the way we want to be looked at.
And hopefully we'll take this idea and implement it in their county as well. Can anyone volunteer, come out here and help? Or, I mean, do you need help? Or how can people get involved?
Anybody can volunteer to come help. We don't mind. Matter of fact, all the help we've got, the better we are. Our club gives 2 scholarships a year to high school seniors in Henry County to go towards college. It's not much, but it's what we can afford. We're glad to do it.
It's something.
It's something.
It's something, man.
It may not do nothing but buy their books.
Yeah.
But buying books is something. We've got some of Bethel College fishing team and some of their archery team here today helping us with these kids to fish. They come every year and help us too. If they're not in class or hadn't got a bunch of homework to do, they try to be here and help.
You know, when you look at fishing, it seems so much like an individual sport or individual hobby, but really it's a community sport. When you're out there fishing, you can catch fish, but it doesn't mean as much if you don't get to share with anyone. So being able to come here, be with the kids, you know, being there for them, having them share an experience with them, it's humbling for us, and it really means a lot to us to serve them.
It's great to come out here and help with the kids.
Yeah.
It's awesome. One of the kids I was with, he was casting better than I was. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My parents and my family and my brother, we've all done this growing up.
Right.
So, I mean, it makes it a lot better to be able to see his kids come out here and do this and not be sitting at home playing video games or something like that.
Totally. Today I got to help someone catch their very first fish. He'd never been fishing before. He'd never baited a hook. He'd never cast a line in the water. Never held a fish, or even seen one up close for that matter. And as I stopped and listened, I realized I was surrounded by the sound of laughter, true joy. It was then that I realized that today was about much more than just a chance for these kids to go fishing for the first time. Good morning, campers. Today is parade day here at the world's biggest fish fry, and behind me is my chariot. I have the honor of being able to ride in the parade, and supposedly there's going to be like 70,000 people through the parade, so thousands of people, we'll say, just to be safe. So about to hop in the truck and head down the parade trail. So it's pretty cool. Maybe I'll throw some candy your way. I'm amazed that you said 70,000 people, 80,000 people is kind of what they're expecting. Why are people coming out here?
Well, they want to see lots of reasons. They want to see their little kids in their floats. They want to see everybody else's grandkids in the float.
Right.
They want to see what's new going on in the community, and they just want to come out and enjoy the sunshine with their families. That's why they're here.
What does the world's biggest fish fry mean to you then?
To me, it means a time for the community can come together and enjoy the company of each other, enjoy their families, enjoy watching the parade, enjoy eating fish.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people with their families come and have family reunions around the fish fry.
Oh, wow.
They get to see their family just once a year, or maybe twice a year, and they come for this event because there's things to do and for their families to get together. Well, this is an outdoor community. You know, we've got the Kentucky Lake, and it's one of the best hunting places in the world, actually. So, you know, for deer and turkey and ducks, waterfowl of all kinds, and the people here like to do that. And they look to TWRA for support and guidance and promote the activities that they like to do. And we do that here. That's one of the things that we do very, very well. We promote hunter safety, promote boating safety, where people have good experiences whenever they go to enjoy their sport. That's a big part of this community.
Well, not only promote it, but manage it.
Manage it.
And I mean, you know, the Kentucky Lake, I guess, has got to be one of the premier lakes.
Right now, I think it's the premier bass fishing lake in the country. Everybody wants to come here to have their bass tournament on Kentucky Lake.
Right.
They have big catches, poundages, and they catch a lot of fish. It's at a good spot right now. You know, because things go in cycles, but right now it's at a great spot for fishermen. You know, we're all the time trying to support the young people to get them interested into hunting and fishing, and to teach them to do it in a safe way, and also be able to do it in a way that they can enjoy themselves, you know, by catching a lot of fish.
Right.
So we want to promote that part of the world as best we can, because we live right here in the greatest place in the country to do it. When we come to events like this, it gets them mindful of, you know, we can ask TWRA for assistance where they can help us to better enjoy the things in life that we want to do.
Between the beauty queens and hush puppy kings, I felt honored to be amongst the royalty of Paris. But I was even more honored to be able to ride along with TWRA in the Grand Parade. And no, I'm not just saying that. So far, I've spent time with Officer Clay Riley on 2 occasions now. And each time, I've been impressed by how personally he takes his role with the agency.
All right, I don't want people to fear me personally.
Right.
I want them to respect, respect the law, respect the government, and respect the law, and realize that I'm not there to punish people or to hurt people. I'm there to make people's lives better. I want to make people enjoy their hunting and fishing experience and just enjoy their life better. I'm a public servant. I recognize that whenever I went to work for the state. I don't work for myself. I work for the state of Tennessee and for the people that live here. I work for the community. I want to support everybody in every aspect, not just hunting and fishing, but every aspect. Any way that I can help people, that's what I want to do.
While I may have already taken a big bite out of the world's biggest fish fry back at the fish tent, I don't feel like I really cleaned my plate yet in terms of enjoying all that they have to offer. So this evening, the crew and I made our way back to the fairgrounds to see what other fun times we can rope in. On this episode, amongst the crackling cast iron and cornmeal covered hands, I couldn't help but be reminded of my youth. When I was growing up, one of the things that brought my family together were Sunday afternoon fish fries in Gates, Tennessee at my Mama Baker and Daddy Cecil's house. That old house would always be busting at the seams with all my aunts, uncles, and cousins, and every room would smell so good you'd swear you could eat the curtains. But to this day, those are still some of the best meals that I can remember. And not just some of the best meals, some of the best memories as well. Because it's not just the food that I can't forget. It's the memory of how that food, for a very short time, brought all of my family together. Those Sunday afternoon fish fries didn't really seem all that special at the time. I thought it was something that everyone did, and I figured it would probably be something that I would always do. Sadly, I was wrong. Mama Baker and Daddy Cecil are no longer with us. I've lost many of those aunts, uncles, and cousins along the way as well. And that house in Gates that was once just a short bike ride away is now over 5 hours. Time has scattered my family like a broom through a dust pile. But the world's biggest fish fry takes me right back to that house, right back to those moments in time. Every bite of catfish brings me closer to my family and closer to the yesterdays of my youth. Now, I'll admit, it's easy to get disconnected. It's easy to lose touch and become distant, even from the things that we love. My time here in Paris has taught me a lot. Most importantly, though, it's taught me that it's time I start having some Sunday fish fries of my own. Thank you for watching.